It's very sad to realize, but this is truth, that your parents and relatives gonna leave one day. Your kids gonna grow up and also leave and create their own families. But your partner is the only family member that you get to choose in your entire life. It is the single most important decision you will ever make. Who you give your best years to, with who you're gonna wake up every morning, and who you build your empire with. Tomorrow is our 3 years anniversary. That's why I decided to film this video. Honestly, I think that it's gonna be so helpful to anyone. If you're in a relationship right now, if you're single, doesn't matter. It's just my personal experience that I'm gonna share with you. We started with absolute zero back then, and now we're building a multi-million-dollar life together. But this didn't happen by accident. So in this video, I'm gonna give you exact, unfiltered rules on how to create high-value relationships. And once again, this is just my experience, my background. So you're more than welcome to do with this information whatever you want. If you're serious about leveling up your life and finding a partner who matches your exact ambition, hit the like button right now and send this video to a friend who really needs to hear that. Because honestly, your engagement is supporting my channel very much and actually helps to push this video to a woman who needs to hear this message today. So thank you so much for all of your support and for helping me grow this channel. Now let's get into it. I think I wrote down around 8 rules, so let's start from the beginning. Okay, so the rule number 1, I think it's pretty simple, but that's the beauty in it. Stop wasting your time trying to be the perfect partner. It just wastes your time. Because let's say you put on any possible mask, for example, the good girl one, and you're trying to be so perfect, so nice. The person who you attracted, he's gonna be magnified to you and attracted to you because of this specific mask. Like, he wouldn't really like you for who you really are. He's gonna have very different expectations about you because he fall for this mask. And eventually, when you're gonna get tired of playing games, when you would want to be more like yourself, which happens after a few months of dating, and when you will show your true colors, the person would be shocked that you are not the one that he was expecting to see, and you also gonna be saying that, oh my god, no one loves me and no one really accepts me the way I am. It is just a massive waste of time. Be exactly who you are from the day number 1. I think this applies not only to relationship, but also when you find friends and any other human communication. That is the only way to attract the man who is actually meant for you. Because when you have the same pattern or the same type of men, for example, that you attract, it happens not because all of the people are bad. It happens because you probably playing over and over again the same traumas. You put the same mask that attracts completely wrong people for you. So I think the most important in this situation to start with yourself, to fix those patterns, to start being yourself and show your true colors right away. So if the person doesn't match with you, you don't waste your time and it's no from the beginning. Or if they actually match, that is way higher chance that you would like to grow something with these people and like go through life with them together. Rule number 2 is honestly one of my favorites because it sounds like no silent expectations. What I mean by that is that, for example, when I met my boyfriend 3 years ago, on the first date, we were talking with each other for like 4 hours without any break in the first like few days, because we decided that, okay, we maybe want to try being together and like dating. We discussed so many important things: how we want to raise our kids, who earns the money in the family, what the man does, what woman does, our view on marriage, our view on family, like basically all the most important values. I think they should be discussed right away. And I know that a lot of women think that they might scary the person when they just like talk about serious stuff right away. Okay, that makes sense, but in my personal opinion, it's more important and I feel way more comfortable if I put my borders right away and I set my expectations, and my partner also knows what to expect from me. If the man is serious about you and he's actually looking into long life relationships, he's not gonna be scared by you discussing important and serious stuff with him right away. If you want to have a high value relationship, you have to be an adult and take responsibility from the day 1. Rule number 3, I honestly never heard anybody speaking about that, so just let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about it. I honestly 100% believe that you should never bring the old trauma and your past to the new relationship, because the person is different, the approach is different. You can create your own rules from zero, because I feel like projecting your past fears onto this new reality, onto your new partner, really hurts and damage the dynamic and creates baseless trust issues. So we just left it behind, and we are not dating each other's exes. We're dating each other. This is a new story. Don't let it fall for the old patterns. Rule number 4, it's gonna be harsh, but just stop being a people pleaser. We have this rule in our couple. If we don't like something, we say about that immediately. I think it also can be the same problem as the previous rule. Remember when we discussed the good girl thingy? Also, I feel like a lot of my friends, a lot of girls that I know, they also have this fear of like, oh my god, I cannot from the start say that I don't like something. I have to be perfect, right? Like I have to show that I'm tolerating everything. For example, you don't like active sports, but you go with your boyfriend every day just because you guys met each other and you want to be so active and show him that you share his hobbies, for example. But if you don't like this, I'm honestly thinking that the first thing you should do is to say that. Speak up immediately about that, because it's way easier to discuss everything right away than to just have this crazy big snowball of a lot of problems that you build up with time. So what we did at the beginning of our relationships, we just wrote kind of manual, like kind of rules of our family. It changed a lot with years, but it's such a beautiful practice. So it's basically an instruction on how you guys should treat each other, because I honestly feel like every family, every couple has its own Bible, its own book of rules, and this really helps them to coordinate and go through life together. I really recommend you guys to try this practice, because it's very important to establish your boundaries early and create these rules of your family together. But before we get into the most interesting part, I want to say something fundamental. You will only ever attract the exact kind of relationship that you have with yourself. Building this relationship that I have right now, it was a huge part of my glow up, of course, but it started way earlier, in the point when I decided to rebuild my life completely, because how you treat yourself sets the absolute baseline of how any man, any person in your reality will ever treat you. I broke down exactly how I rebuilt my reality and how I pulled myself out from this average life. It's called 3-step reality reset. I'm giving the exact framework of what I did and what worked for me. So if you're interested in this topic, make sure to go watch this video right after you finish this one. I'm sure it's gonna be super helpful for you. I will leave a link in the description, and I think it's gonna be somewhere here. All right, let's move to the rule number 5. I honestly believe that crises are supposed to make your life better. All the fights that you guys having in your relationship is bringing you closer. These things are completely normal, and for example, when we just started dating, we had so much drama. It was very toxic, very exhausting, because we brought up all of this, you know, old traumas, everything from how we know and how we think it's supposed to be right to have a fight. We basically didn't know how to fight. I'm honestly thinking that it's very important quality to know how to fight your partner. I know that sounds crazy, but it really helps, because the problem is not that you guys have a fight and you fight a lot. The problem is like how you resolve it. How are you acting while you fighting? We just realized one day that we didn't want to have it this way. Both of us have a ideal vision of how we see relationships, and this was definitely not the part of it. So after every conversation, after every fight back then, we would actually discuss what went wrong. So we just sat down and created this list of rules, how we fighting and how we communicating with each other in a frustration moment. For example, you saying something just to hurt the other one, it's a big no-no. Let the other person speak, don't disrespect, don't interrupt. One of the most important in our case is like to not twist the reality, because English is my second language, and sometimes I might say something that sounds very rude and my partner he just put some meaning in the words that I'm saying, which I didn't mean, and the same goes for me. So once we found this approach to each other, every fight just stopped being the end of the world. It was just a part of our normal life that gets us closer to each other and just give us a chance to know each other better. As I said before, yesterday we just celebrated our 3 years anniversary. If you want to see all of the behind the scenes gifts and what are we gonna do here while we're in Bali, you can check out all the details on my Instagram. I post my daily glow up journey and lifestyle there every day. The link is going to be in description. Make sure you follow so we don't lose each other. And speaking of anniversaries, the rule number 6 is, I love it so much because it is actually about how we document our growth together every single year. We have a very nice tradition. Every new year or anniversary, we record a video where we together speaking about our goals, how was the year, what we want to achieve the next year, speaking about us together as a family and also as a two separate people that have their own goals. It is honestly priceless to look back and see the way we were, how we were thinking, what were our goals, what were our fears, what we worried about, and how much we've grown. I'm highly recommend you doing this. Okay, we are very close to the end, and the rule number 7, I call it heart-to-heart reset. In a long relationship, you are both as separate people constantly transforming. I love watching my partner grow into a new version of himself, and I'm growing too. So I think that sometimes you just have to pause this day-to-day routine, sit down and reconnect your souls, because day-to-day we're doing a lot of different stuff. Sometimes it's very boring and we're not really like deep talking every day. That's why for me it's very important that once in a while we actually have a date where we discuss our goals again, when we discuss with each other what problems we're facing right now, for example at our jobs or maybe just in general, like just really deep conversation that helps us to reconnect, that helps us to see that everything is okay, our values stays the same, we're just transforming and, you know, getting to know each other over and over again, because every new version of yourself is slightly different from the old one. I feel like in this way you could never be bored of your partner because you're constantly evolving and just get to know each other, this new version every time. Okay, here is my final and honestly the most controversial advice. Do not listen to anyone. Don't listen to your parents, your friends, society, because no one except you knows what is going on in your relationship. Every relationship is unique. Every person needs this specific quality of this specific person, so it differs so much from person to person. Only I know who my partner truly is behind the closed doors, and because of that our relationship stays strictly between us. You should not be against each other, you should be against the problem, so you as a team should always resolve everything together. I honestly have so much to speak about on this topic. I feel like I barely even scratched the surface today, so if you want a part 2 or you want me to dive deeper into any specific topic about relationships, feminine energy, money, stuff like that, drop a comment below and I will make a video about it. My goal this year is to hit 100k followers and build a community of beautiful, wise women that redesign their reality, that always going forward, never settle for less. So if you're one of them, of course, hit subscribe and let's grow together. I will see you in the next video.